As I've said, the Attorney General, Anil, well, the correct name is Mohabir Anil Nandlall, SC, MP, is alleged to have made some statements on his Facebook page. And last Saturday, the Chronicle, or I should say the Chronicle newspaper, carried a article by the staff reporter, that is Saturday the 2nd, and they said the Attorney General exposes APNU's constitutional atrocity. That is the caption, Saturday paper. And let me read some excerpts, and then I'm going to respond to the Attorney General. Mind you, I'm saying this is what he is quoted in the Chronicle government paper as saying. So let me tell you what he says. And I say again, Saturday, September the 2nd, 2023, that's said by the staff reporter. Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlall SC has raised serious concerns about what he calls constitutional atrocity related to the appointment of former Police Commissioner acting Nigel Appy by the then APNU AFC government. Nandlall took to Facebook on Friday, highlighting what he perceives as a glaring violation of the country's constitution by the opposition, while a partnership of national unity and the Alliance for Change coalition, APNU AFC, was in government. They quote him further saying he accused the coalition of posturing as champions of constitutionality and the rule of law, while turning a blind eye to what he considers a severe breach of the Constitution. He goes on. Nandlall's revelation follows questions from the opposition over the extension of Clifton Ikin's tenure as acting Commissioner of Police by President Dr. Irfan Ali. Another piece says, in his Facebook post, Nandlall wrote, and I quote here, yet the same APNU AFC continues to masquerade as champions of constitutionality and the rule of law. Paul Slowe and Clinton Conway write excessively in the newspapers on legal issues concerning the police force, but to date, they have not uttered a word about this horrible constitutional atrocity. Nandlall's remarks revolve around the appointment of Appy to act in the office of Commissioner of Police on July 30th, 2020, by the then permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Public Security following the retirement of Commissioner of Police Leslie James. Goes on to say, at the time of Appy's appointment, Bharat Jagdeo held the position of leader of the opposition, while Slowe served as chairman of the Police Service Commission. Let me get the last part. Then he says here, with the evidence of the appointment, they said the appoint letter. That is what they say. They said with the evidence of the appoint letter, Nandlall exposed a glaring inconsistency in the APNU plus APAFC purported commitment to upholding constitutionality and the rule of law. Then he said, notably, Slowe and Conway, who are renowned for their vocal stance on legal matters concerning the police, have remained conspicuously silent on this issue, he said. That is what part of this article. Now, let me roll up my sleeves and respond to what they claim with the necessary evidence. Because, we don't come here and just talk. I'm going to roll up my sleeve and I'm going to respond with the necessary evidence. Now, I said the article, I tell you about the article. So I said, let me start off. I made some notes. Let me start off by saying, I hold no brief for the APNU plus AFC. However, I am mentioned by name in the article, so I feel compelled to respond. The statement attributed to the Attorney General are clearly misleading. What do I read just clearly misleading? The person who brought it to my attention, as I said, I don't read Chronicle. So I was here and somebody called me and brought this thing to my attention. The person who brought it to my attention asked me if the AG was drunk when those statements were made. I had to remind the person that such statement from the AG should not surprise anyone, because that is the same person who the Caribbean Court of Justice accused of bringing that institution into disrepute. Remember, Caribbean Court of Justice said the Attorney General of Guyana they accused him of bringing the Caribbean Court of Justice into disrepute. So when you make these things, you should not be surprised. But the facts got to be revealed. And I have said before, they still operate on this media monopoly, this communist type media monopoly. So they come out, use NCN and Chronicle, they make all sort of statement, because in the past, you would not have had a avenue to respond. But thank the Lord for Facebook and YouTube and all of these things, we can respond and set the record straight as I am doing now. Now, let me go on to say, it appears as though I live in the other Anil Nandlall. He never misses his opportunity to mention Slowe and sometimes Conway. Like I live in this smart head. Rent free. But I can tell you it's not a nice place to be. This little abode is infested with all kind of rodents and insects and all kind of unpleasant things. But you like to call Slowe names, so Slowe gonna address it. Let me address what some of these issues are. Let me deal with the first point. I said the claim that Api was appointed as Commissioner of Police, acting Commissioner of Police, is palpably false. That is false. And Nigel Api was never ever appointed as the acting Commissioner of Police. And I'll show you the evidence in a short way. The same evidence that he's trying to show. Never. Let me make the point. Api was never appointed to act as Commissioner of Police. As the next senior rank, when Commissioner James proceeded on retirement leave on the 31st of July 2020, Api was made to perform the functions of the Commissioner of Police. Now, there's a big difference between performing the functions of Commissioner of Police and acting Commissioner of Police. Big difference. And let me explain the difference to you. Performing the functions of police, Commissioner of Police, happens. I performed the function of Commissioner of Police on, I think I recall, 2 occasions. Other senior officers have done so. I was the second senior man in the force when Green was there. He had to proceed off the job for can't remember the exact reasons, and I got my letter to perform the functions of the Commissioner of the Police in the absence of the Commissioner. It's a formality, because that allows you now to report to the minister, and they know that, well, the commissioners are there, so use a person who is performing those functions. You are performing the functions, right? Now, if you're going to act as Commissioner of Police, as in the case now of the man who is there, he says squatting the chair, you have to go through a constitutional process. Article 211, 1 and 2 tells us what has to happen to promote a person to commissioner and to deputy commissioner, and for them people to act in those positions. And it says, let me remind you, Article 211, that it requires the president makes the appointment, but he has to consult with the opposition leader, meaningful consultation with the opposition leader. He also has to consult, that's the president, also has to consult with the chairman of the Police Service Commission, who first has to consult with the other members of the Police Service Commission. In the absence of that process, the person is not acting. The person is merely performing the functions of, as I've said, that has been done. I did it on at least 2. I know other officers who did it. And that was during the tenure of the PPP administration. It happened. The records are there. It happened. So for Nandlall to be making a big nice over this thing now, he's just being disingenuous. And let me go on to say, and I'm going to show you the letter in a short while. I say, as a result, and again, these things are easy to check, as a result of not being appointed to act as Commissioner of Police, Api never wore the badge of rank of Commissioner of Police. For the 17 months or something like that, he sat there. He never wore the badge of rank. He continued to wear the badge of rank of his substantive position, which is Deputy Commissioner of Police. And correctly so. He did that until he demitted office. Api never wore the badge of rank of Commissioner of Police. Ask Api, check the records. So how can you say that the coalition made him act? And more than that, as I said, it was the established practice for decades when the PPP was in office. I carried out the functions on more than one occasions, right? I carry out. Other people as well did the same, right? Now, let me put up this letter that this man talking about, and then so we can, I can address this issue a little bit more. Look, this is a letter that, and they publish this letter in Chronicle to say that this is the coalition breaching the Constitution and causing API to act. Look what the letter, first of all, let me point out to you that as can be seen, this letter is dated the 30th of July 30, 2020. And it says, if you can see the reading, it authorizes Leslie James, the Commissioner of Police, to proceed on 274 days pre-retirement leave from the 31st of July 2020. That's the very next day, 31st of July. And let me bring to your attention immediately, the only time API name is mentioned in this letter is when they're telling James, the PS telling James that API will perform the functions of commissioner. Look at it for yourself. Look at it. And this is a letter that the Chronicle published. I see get a code stamp and everything. So using this as an exhibit, I guess, in the Hicken case, right? But look at it. Let me leave it for you to read. I mean, the writing is a little fine, but read it. The letter is signed by the PS, and it is copied to the Police Service Commission, the Auditor General, and the Accountant General. It is not addressed to API. It is not copied to API. So how can you say, and it mentioned nothing about acting. This letter says nothing about acting. It says nothing about acting. But I'm going to leave it up while I continue to talk. I'm going to leave it up. And timeline, folks, my student, my diligent students, look at the timeline. This is the 30th of July. This letter is dated. James, according to this letter, on the 30th of July was a Thursday. The next day, the Friday, the 31st, James is proceeding on leave. And what happened on the 2nd of August? Y'all remember what happened on the 2nd of August? The 2nd of August, the president was sworn in. The same Anil Nandlall was sworn in as Attorney General on the 2nd. So, letter dated the 30th of July. James gone and leave on the 31st of July the next day. And then the next day is the Saturday. And then the Sunday, the president is sworn in. So, what consultation, what this man is talking about? What is he talking about? So, I ask the question, so when this consultation, let's assume that they wanted to appoint API as the acting commissioner of police. When this consultation was to be done, when the same Sunday when the president, a new government is actually sworn in, huh? That is when you want this consultation done again. Letter dated the 30th of July. API gone, James gonna leave on the 31st, Friday the 31st. Saturday, the 1st of July, 1st of August, sorry. Then you get the next day is Sunday, the 2nd of August 2020, the president is sworn in as the Arthur Town Convention Center. So what is this fella talking about? And that is why I say I live in this man head rent-free, and it's not a nice place. I see the things that affect him, his thinking. But let me go on. I'm going to leave this letter up there for a little while longer. As I said, the letter was addressed to James and copied to those persons, right? The API never, and let me say this, API never ever received any letter to say that he is acting commissioner of police. Never. API was never given any letter. So I don't know where you get this thing from. I don't know where the Attorney General got this thing from. But let me go on some more. I know CC waiting to back, but I got to point out these things to y'all, man. I got to point out this nonsense with the Attorney General, Mr. Moabir Anil Nandlall, SC, MP, is saying. Now, let me go further. You know, I like this thing, you know, I like my research. I like research. Since when I was going to university, when I got the research of papers and so on, I revel in that. I love that. And I did my research for this one. And this is fresh information. This is over the past 2-3 years. So you don't have to dig that deep. We haven't to dig that deep. Let me tell you what go on to say. Then remember, the president sworn in on the 2nd of August 2020. Parliament was convened in September 2020, right? And Mr. Joe Armand, Lieutenant Colonel retired Joe Armand, became the leader of the opposition. At that time, when Mr. Armand became the leader of the opposition in September of 2020, I was the chairman of the Police Service Commission. So you had a leader of the opposition from September 2020 and a chairman of the Police Service Commission. I said the Police Service Commission remained in place until June the 16th, 2021, when it was unlawfully suspended by the president. Remember, March 21st this year, Justice Gino Prasad ruled that the suspension, and I get it here, you know, the suspension was unlawful, ultra-virus Article 225 of the Constitution, arbitrary, unreasonable, unfair, in violation of the suspended chairman and other commissioners' constitutional rights to the protection of the law and due process of law, null, void, and of no legal effect. Let me move on. Joe Armand remained the leader of the opposition until he resigned in January 2022. Again, Joe Armand remained from September 2020. Joe Armand remained the leader of the opposition until he resigned in January 2022. Right? Then it means, therefore, that between the time when Mr. Armand became the leader of the opposition in September 2020 and the unlawful suspension of the Police Service Commission in June 2021, June 16 to be exact, 2021, there was a period of about 9 months when this president, Irfan Ali, could have initiated constitutional steps to appoint Api either as acting or substantive commissioner of police. What the Attorney General must explain is why that was not done. He recognized that the APNU, AFC government did not consult in a one-day period in the Saturday before the president's reign. One day, then consult on that day. But they had about 9 months between the time when Mr. Armand became leader of the opposition and when they unlawfully suspended the Police Service Commission on the 16th of June 2021. And what they did, absolutely nothing. So the Attorney General should answer that question. Now let me go on. And I said the government waited until Api proceeded on pre-retirement leave on Sunday, the 27th of March, 2022, this last year. And then they appointed Ikin as acting commissioner of police without the required constitutionally mandated consultations. They are the ones who did not consult. And then the government claimed that at the time of the appointment of Ikin, there was no leader of the opposition, and because of the importance of the office of commissioner of police, it was necessary to make the appointment. If you recall, that appointment was challenged, and the CJ deemed the appointment lawful, stating that at the time of the appointment, there was no leader of the opposition to consult. And that decision is challenged. The decision of the Chief Justice has been appealed. But let me go on further. The other question that the Attorney General should answer is, if the office of the Commissioner of Police is so important, why the government did not appoint Api as acting or substantive Commissioner of Police between September 2020 and June 2021, when the constitutionally appointed bodies, that is the leader of the opposition and the chairman of the Police Service Commission, were in place. And therefore, Article 211 of the Constitution could have been complied with. Let us say perhaps the office only became important when Api went into pre-retirement leave. And let me say further,